I literally just got back from work, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into this video. Alright, hey everyone, CartopinoX here once again, back with another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Capcom finally dropped in their developer's diary coming up for July, and I just gotta talk about the stuff that Capcom has announced, especially monster-wise, because there is some amazing stuff regarding the monsters coming up in Iceborne, especially for those of you who have been paying very close attention to some of the key details regarding Alatreon the Blazing Black Dragon. Now before we get started, there are going to be some events coming up in Iceborne as well. We've got the summer event coming up with all of the Aztec clothing and whatnot. You've also got some of the Kelby helmet, the Aptonoth helmet. There's a lot of great stuff coming around, but for me, the main focus here today isn't really those kinds of events. The main focus I really like to go through are the monsters. And today, there are two monsters that we have to talk about in Iceborne, Alatreon the Blazing Black Dragon, and of course, the new variant monster coming up for Iceborne for the Barioth. Let's go ahead and jump straight into Alatreon first and foremost, because that's the one that's going to be coming up next week. So Alatreon definitely has changed in the way it fights in comparison to previous Monster Hunter games, especially with all of the information that we've gotten so far regarding this Black Dragon and what Capcom has done with it. In terms of its overall looks, it looks far more aggressive, especially with the high definition graphics that Iceborne has, and for the most part, I just can't wait to see this Elder Dragon in action and I'm actually fighting it. The main reason for that is because after seeing everything that Capcom did with Alatreon in comparison to previous Monster Hunter games, I think fighting this monster is gonna be a wholly different experience even if you're a veteran player from previous generation games. What Capcom essentially did is that they kept the base moveset that Alatreon had from previous Monster Hunter games, where it can basically rotate between different kinds of elements, but then it also has what is considered to be a focused element, meaning that it's augmenting a specific element in its body as it's going through the fight. Now this is usually signified by Alatreon basically trying to wipe the entire team by using what is known as the Eschaton Judgment, basically the Alatreon super move. When it goes through the Eschaton Judgment, it then transitions into a different element, which is super amazing in my opinion because the previous versions of Alatreon, it was basically restricted to using fire and dragon on the ground and then thunder and ice in the air, and that was pretty much it. There wasn't really anything that kind of kept you on your toes, whereas this particular version of Alatreon, it transitions between different kinds of elements with a certain focus on a certain element when it goes through Eschaton Judgment, and it can easily wipe your team if you don't pay attention to it, and it does its super move. So yeah, this is gonna be a super exciting Elder Dragon to fight in Iceborne, and I just genuinely cannot wait to see the differences of Alatreon in the new world compared to the Alatreon back in the old world. This is gonna be a completely different experience, and I cannot wait to fight it. Alright, next up, let's take a look at the new variant monster coming up around August time, which is none other than the Frostfang Barioth. This thing looks amazing as a Barioth, and I gotta say, Capcom did an amazing job with this creature. The whole elder look that it has in comparison to the regular Barioth, I think it's probably one of the best aspects about this variant monster in comparison to the original. I am really digging that beard. I kind of want to call it the Elder Barioth at this point because it does look like an older version of the Barioth that has gone through a lot of stuff in order to evolve into that particular variant. Now for those of you that may have not played the previous Monster Hunter games, this is a completely new variant, meaning that this is not a creature that we have seen before. This is not Frozen Barioth from Monster Hunter Explore, and we don't have any other variants of the Barioth in any way, shape, or form aside from the subspecies, which is the Sand Barioth. So whether you're a veteran player or a completely new player to the series with Monster Hunter World, this is gonna be a completely new experience for you because this is the very first time we are seeing a variant monster of the Barioth coming up in the Monster Hunter series. One of the best things about this monster as well as I'm observing it is the fact that the ice capabilities are so enhanced to the point that it can actually use it as a long-range attack in comparison to the original monster where there's a certain limit to the range of its ice tornado. So the fact that this creature can actually take down ranged players, for example, really does make it a force to be reckoned with once it arrives around August time in Iceborne. Now, of course, I can't talk about the developer's diary or the content in it without mentioning the roadmap that Capcom has planned for us between now and the fall of this year. One of the key things that Capcom mentioned is that there is gonna be a returning monster around fall time for Iceborne as the next title DLC update, but not only that, alongside that upcoming monster, we also have Master Rank layered armor coming up as well. You all know me at this point. If you've been with this channel for quite some time now, I do love my fashion hunting with Iceborne, and the fact that we are getting Master Rank layered armor means that we are gonna evolve our fashion hunting tenfold at this point, because Master Rank layered armor designs are amazing and I can't wait for it. Now, regarding the monster, I'm not quite sure what Capcom has planned for us after the fall season, so around December time-ish, meaning that this could may well be the final title DLC update that we get for this game until they announce, let's say, the next upcoming Monster Hunter game. But if that's not the case scenario here and we're actually looking into maybe 2 or 3 more title DLC updates, then we could be looking something along the lines of Gormagala or Volstrax being potential candidates for this particular title DLC update coming around fall time. However, if it is the final title DLC update that we are getting for this game, then we could be looking into another potential Black Dragon, possibly Fatalis, for Iceborne at the end of the year. I'm not quite sure what Capcom has planned for us at this point. This is all speculation at the end of the day, but this is gonna be the scenario that we're looking into. We could be looking at some new monsters as well down the line. I mean, they did just announce Frostfang Barioth as a variant of the original monster, so they might do that once again with the upcoming title DLC update, where we have the original monster that they have planned returning to Iceborne, and then they might bring in maybe a subspecies or variant of another monster. Who knows? At the end of the day, it's all speculations, and I can't wait to see what Capcom has planned for us around fall time for this particular game. And that is pretty much it for this video, taking a look at the content coming up in Iceborne with a heavy focus on the monsters, which are Alatreon and Frostfang Barioth. What do you think about these two monsters coming up in Iceborne, one around next week and the other one around August time? Let me know in the comments below what you think about Alatreon in Iceborne in terms of the way it looks as of right now, and what you think about the new variant monster, which is Frostfang Barioth. Now, with all of that being said, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider leaving a like on the video itself and subscribing to the channel, as well as hitting that bell icon so you can go ahead and catch up on any future Monster Hunter content that I might be doing or any other games that I might be playing in future. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Onward and upward.